Hello artist. Today you are going to be continuing to work on your Da Vinci Mona Lisa, your own Mona Lisa. Here I have the T-Rex Mona Lisa. Today you need to make sure that you have drawn your Mona Lisa and not just what she is or who she is, but where she is. You want to make sure that you have a background, that none of your objects in the background are floating. As, for example, my Stegosaurus back here, if there were no lines to show that he was on the ground, it would look as if he's in the sky. So you want to make sure that you have these lines in the background. If it is outside, you should have lines to show that it's the ground and where it meets the sky. Remember, is the horizon line. So the sky's up there, and I know this is all ground behind the T-Rex. If you are in a building, there's usually a floor line and then where the wall starts. So make sure you have some kind of lines that show us what is the setting. Where is Mona Lisa? Is she shopping at a mall? Is she a gymnastics in a gym, a gymnastics person? So you need to decide. Once you have your Mona Lisa drawn and the background drawn in pencil, then you can go ahead and do Sharpie. And most of you have already done this, so you are probably ready to do the coloring part today. So today for coloring, we're going to be using colored Sharpies. Now, we've talked about this before, but with Sharpies, you need to go light, meaning don't push down too hard, and you need to go slow. Remember, if you go too fast, then it doesn't give the Sharpie time to let the ink out. And if you push down too hard, it makes no room for the ink to come out when you go so hard. So when your coloring areas, like for example up here on my on the spikes, if I color super fast like this, you'll notice a couple things. One, if you see it up close, the Sharpie didn't come out very well. You'd almost think the Sharpie maybe doesn't work so great. Also, there's all this white, so it gives us the appearance of a scribble. So we don't want scribbles. We want this spike to be completely filled in. So we're going to take our time. So I barely touch the paper with my Sharpie, and I am going to stay inside those black lines. So we kind of made a coloring book for ourselves with those black Sharpie lines. And if I go nice and slow, the Sharpie actually works quite well. So I want to make sure that I am taking my time. I do notice the Sharpie isn't the best, actually. But you can see, even with a Sharpie that's not so great, I can get a pretty good color as long as I go slow and light. Now, for another area, I would do the same thing. I might want to switch colors. There's lots of fun different greens. So look at the colors that are offered and see what you'd like. So you notice I like to outline kind of the inside of the shape first, and then I do better with coloring in so I don't go over my black lines. So I'm trying to stay inside the lines, and then you get a nice, bright, colorful spike. Same thing with the body here. If you know it's going to be green, we so want to sometimes just go, I'm going to color the whole thing green. Take your time. You want to make sure that you don't just cover up all that hard work you did with the Sharpies. You want to maybe skip around. For this one, even if I was doing all the same color, I would want to fill in each of these little spikes one at a time. This is not a race. In fact, I'm going to give you probably at least 2 days on this to color it in. Now I want to point out that if you have large areas of color, like the background here, this would take forever to color in with Sharpie. So we're not going to. We're going to paint it. So I have started up here with a paintbrush to paint this. We will not be painting today, but just keep that in mind. So when you get done with all the little areas, if there are big areas like the background, or there's a really large shape, so maybe this I want to paint, just leave it for today. So when you get done today, it should be dry because it's just Sharpie. We're going to slide these into our table folders, and that's it for today. Some of you may finish the Sharpieing with the colored Sharpies, and some of you may not be ready to paint just yet. So go nice and slow and light. Take your time. No scribbling, okay? Take your time and fill in those areas the best that you can. If you see a little white area, try to fill it in. Be an art detective and use your magnifying glass and look, oh, yep, I see white areas there. I think I could probably do better. I could fill that in. All right, have fun.